Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know by now I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Well, today we're looking at a lens, or a little bit of the lens I purchased for my little Sony Z-V1. And this is the Z-V1. I've got 3 of these little cameras. I'm actually doing the close-up shot with one of my other Z-V1s. I've got another one on the tripod right at the back there, just getting a generic wide shot. But I bought a wide angle lens for the Z-V1 because for vlogging, as many people have said, it's just a little bit tight. 24mm is just a wee bit tight. I generally don't find it such a problem because I don't do a great deal of vlogging. So for me, I've not really had an issue with it. But these lenses, these are sort of clip-on or, you know, fitting lenses, aren't that expensive. So I thought I might as well get one, see what it's like. And I've been, in general, very, very pleased with it. I haven't taken many photographs with it, although I will upload to my Flickr site. You'll see in the description below my Flickr page, and there will be some photographs I've taken with this wide angle lens, so you can actually see how good the sharpness is. It's pretty good in the centre, but it does soften off on the edges, which would be expected. A, it's a cheap lens, and B, it's an add-on lens. It's like a converter lens. So I bought it for the Z-V1. Now it comes with, the lens I got was a Ulanzi, what do they call it, WL1. Ulanzi WL1 came in this box, and it came with the adapter ring to be able to fit it to the Z-V1. And it's a bit of a Heath Robinson sort of adapter, in the sense that they've kind of worked around the design to fit it to the Z-V1. So it wasn't purposely made for it, because the Z-V1 hasn't got a filter ring. So you actually can't adapt anything per se. But what they've done, it comes with this metal ring that, how clear that'll be obvious, how clear that'll be, I don't know. How clear, obvious that'll be, you know what I mean? But, so it comes with this little ring. You can see I've actually fitted it to the Z-V1 now, and you basically stick it on. They supply the little 3M pads, really. It's basically a little circular, all it is if I peel a bit off, you can see there, maybe, it's just a circular ring. Effectively, I'm not going to peel this all the way off because these are spare rings, which is really good. They've supplied some spare rings, I've damaged it anyway, whether you're going to use it, on another Z-V1 or whether these come unstuck, I don't know. I don't know what the logic of that is. But effectively I've stuck that on, so you have to just be a little bit careful. You have to turn the camera on according to the instructions to actually stick this ring on. So once that ring is stuck on, and it's pretty firm, I don't think that's going to come off, but that's pretty firm. It don't seem to have done any harm to the camera, and when the camera is retracted, well, you wouldn't even know it's there. You can see it's flush with the actual barrel of the lens. So it's from that point of view, a really nice design. You can put this back in its camera bag and you would never know it's on. The actual lens itself is quite compact. It's made of metal, good construction, comes with a lens hood, and again it's got a filter thread on the actual lens itself, so you can put 52mm filters directly onto the lens, which is really handy. It's nicely made. The optics are fine, certainly for vlogging and for video, although the corners do get softer. So as I say, I don't think the photographs are going to be anything special, but you know, as long as the centre is sharp, they should be absolutely fine, particularly if you're shooting wide open, because you want it to fall off. You want the bokeh to fall off from the centre or from what it is you're actually photographing. So again, metal construction cap, nothing special, it's a cap. Then once you've got the adapter fitted to the camera body, all you then do is literally just screw the lens on. Simple as that. Screw the lens on, and then you have yourself a wide angle. It's actually 18mm. The angle for the conventional camera without the adapter is 24mm. So it's a 24 to 70 actually zoom lens. But this adapts it to make it a 18mm. So that's now on. It does make it heavier, and I do get concerned that the weight is a bit heavy for this lens. I wouldn't want to damage the lens, but it seems to be fine. I've had no issues with it since I've had it. Basically turn it on, and then you have yourself, you know, the lens comes out, and you can see now how, you know, it's a bit bulges out a bit and it looks a bit odd, but it does, you know, it does do the job, and that's the important thing. It does do the job. It doesn't feel as though it's going to be a problem, but I am a little bit nervous about the sheer weight on the end of this barrel. But what I do, let's just take that out so you can see there, you're now getting yourself a wide angle lens. That's quite a bit wider. As I say, it's 18mm as opposed to 24mm. So, you know, nifty wifty. I mean, what I plan to do is obviously use a wide angle lens if I'm doing vlogging and that kind of malarkey. I will do some video. I'll go outdoors and do some video, and I'll put it in this video so you can see what this lens does perform like as a wide angle lens. And I will do a comparison between the 24mm, which comes obviously with the camera, and the 18mm once this is fitted. But even I can see that's a lot wider. It's a lot wider, and the quality looks, you know, looking at the monitor, the quality looks really nice. And the Z-V1 is the perfect, with this lens, is the perfect vlogging camera for me. I suffer with a really bad shoulder, so having a really lightweight camera does, you know, is beneficial for me. I've been looking at the Olympus EM1, EM5 Mark III. I've got the EM5 Mark III as a vlogging camera because that's quite light as well, but it's still nowhere near as good as the Z-V1. And even with this lens, it makes it a little top heavy, but nothing drastic. It's nothing drastic. You do know it's there though, you do know it's on. But yeah, that's the Ulanzi wide angle lens. But as part of the package, if you unscrew, let me just turn that off a second, let that go back in. But if we unscrew the lens, well, the whole lot comes off. So if we take the lens off, okay, so now it's in two parts, this lens, and I think that's pretty impressive. It's in two parts. If you unscrew it and take the wide angle bit off, you end up with a 10 times macro lens. I don't want to drop it. It's right, there we go. So now we have, put that somewhere safe, we now have a really minuscule 10 times macro lens. So if we put that back on, now that would be more for taking photographs than it would be for video. I guess, I would think, I don't know, maybe people do take macro videos. Yeah, of course people do, but I don't know if you'd use a little 1-inch camera for doing macro photography. I also don't know, because you're in much tighter, how good the quality would be with such a tiny little camera. But you know, so you can get really in tight with a macro lens. Even incredibly silly dark lighting like this, that's getting in really close, and it's now nice and sharp. It really is nice and sharp. It's very interesting actually. It's a lot of fun. I've got image stabilization turned off on this camera at the moment, but you can see, you can kind of see how useful that would be if you want to get close. I don't know which camera can pick that up, but that is really tight there. I'm really virtually touching that, you know, that, and you can see how tight that's getting. That is awesome. Yeah, so you have to shoot it at the wide angle end of the camera, so you'd be shooting at 24mm. Well, it's actually not 24. Well, it is, isn't it? 24mm, and then the 10 times macro lens will kick in. So with this lens, you've got your three functions really. You've got your wide angle, which is what it is now, and that's awesome. You've got your macro lens, and you can actually add filters to it. You know, variable NDs, polarizing filters, whatever you might want to do. So you know, there you go. I think it's I think for 50 quid, it's a great asset, particularly for vlogging. And I think that's what they're selling it for. They're selling it mainly as a vlogging lens, because the Z-V1 at 24mm isn't really that wide, as I said earlier. But there we go. That's the Sony Z-V1 with the Ulanzi wide angle lens. Hope you found that useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you find this video useful, and if you like the channel. I really hope you do. I'm really enjoying the comments that I'm getting. It's really encouraging, and I really enjoy reading all the comments, and thanks very much for that. And hit the like button if you found this particular video useful, and don't forget to take a look at my Flickr page where you can see samples of photographs I've taken with this wide angle lens. And have a look at this vlogging clip I've put up here, just so you can see how good or how bad, whatever way you look at it, this lens really is. So I've got the wide angle lens fitted, the Ulanzi wide angle lens adapter fitted to my Z-V1, and it's working really well. It's equivalent to 18mm, and as you know, the Z-V1's a 24mm lens, and it's a lot tighter. You can see more of the surroundings with this particular lens, and it's really good. I've got it on the Z-V1, as I say, and I'm using standard steady shot as opposed to active steady shot, which doesn't crop it so tight. I will put it into active in just a moment so you can see how good it is, with a slightly cropped image. But it's a great wide angle lens adapter. A bit soft around the edges, just a little bit, but nothing drastic. And it's beautifully sharp in the centre. So for vlogging, completely fine. As I said in the review, there are sample images taken with this lens on my Flickr page. So it's worth taking a look at them if you want to look at still images taken with this lens. I'm still not absolutely sure I would leave a lens on permanently, because it is quite heavy for this particular camera. But if you're using it occasionally, you just unscrew it and leave the adapter stuck on the lens. So the little plastic adapter that you screw the lens into, leave it on the lens. It don't do any harm. I think it's a great addition to my kit. And as I suffer with a bad shoulder, it's nice using the Z-V1 for doing this sort of thing. I'm not really a vlogger, so I don't do a great deal of it. And the sound is coming from the Z-V1 with its built-in mic. So I haven't plugged any external mics in, I'm just using the built-in mic. So that is the Ulanzi wide angle lens. You can see, even I can see here, it's showing quite a bit of the surroundings. That is at its widest setting. No point in zooming in, because you're buying the wide angle lens adapter, I would think, to use it at its widest setting, particularly if you're into vlogging. Mind I don't trip down the steps. So yeah, there we go. Now I'm going to switch it to active steady shot so you can see how much tighter that does crop it. So let's now go to active steady shot. I've now got the active steady shot turned on, and you can see it's just a little bit tighter. It's not a great difference actually, and that will help with keeping your image steadier. I am going to be experimenting with catalyst browse to do the to act as a steady shot. It does it post-production, but you can't switch steady shot on when you're filming. You do it in post-production using catalyst browse. So I will play with that, but for now I've got it turned on. I'm not the best at vlogging, as I say so many times, but it works really well, this lens. And as I say, it's a great addition to my kit. I think it's a great addition to anyone who does vlogging. I'm going to sit down, rest me back. Oh. So yeah, that is the Ulanzi wide angle lens, the 18mm wide angle lens for the Z-V1. As I say, now it's in active mode, so it will just be a little bit tighter, but you still get a good ambience. It still shows, quite a bit of the surroundings. I've taken the lens off now, so we're using the Zeiss lens built into the Z-V1, and it's at 24mm, which is its widest setting, and you can see that's quite a bit tighter. So, and I've got my arm out at the same length as what I had before. So there is a big difference between putting the wide angle lens on and not using the wide angle lens. So this is now the actual, the native lens fitted to the Z-V1 without the adapter, and it's nowhere near as wide. You can see, even when I stand up and have a look around the surroundings, it's not as wide, it's a lot tighter. So I'll put it back on once more just so you can see, clearly see the difference with and without. So that's without. This is with the wide angle lens fitted now. The arm's at the same distance as it was before. And you can see there's quite a bit more, of the surroundings that you can see. So it is a really, really useful lens. Now let's get back to the actual main review. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. Enjoy the channel and please subscribe, as I said earlier, and hit the like button if this was useful. Cheers for now. Bye.